What's up, everybody? David Moss Jr. here, and 2 months ago, basically today, I posted a video of me building my own DIY cold plunge, iceless cold plunge, that was surprisingly one of my most watched videos that I've had to date. I have a lot of engagement pretty much every day with people who are asking questions about how I did something, what I used, if something else would work and all that. So a question that I've had a lot of people ask is like step by step, how did I do each step? So I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough one on the updates I have made since then and how I did it step by step. Also, quick note, if you watched that video, you noticed that I was raising money for the ALS Association Florida chapter. Thank you to everybody who donated. I was personally able to raise over $5,000. We just did the soak yesterday. I'll show you a quick video of us getting soaked and then get right back to the video. So check it out. What are you doing, bud? You're putting the cold water on you? All right, so you'll notice a few quick changes. I went with a 110-gallon Rubbermaid tub that I got at Tractor Supply. You might have saw the video of me mind-dealing about what to get. Now, the galvanized trough is great. There's a lot of great options out there, but I personally like this one because it's rubber. It's soft and it's a little bit more comfortable and it's wider. So I'm able to get in there and spread out and get really comfortable. So I ended up upgrading to that. Also, you'll notice that it's outside. So I built a deck. You might have seen a video on that. Built a deck, threw it out here. One, because this little dude was throwing all kinds of toys and food and stuff in my inside cold plunge. So wanted to update that and bring it outside so he didn't have as much access to it. The chiller, a lot of people have been asking, is that okay to be outside? The answer is yes. I've had a lot of people actually from other companies that use the same chiller say, hey, that chiller is awesome. It should last you 5 to 10 years outside. So I've had it out here. It rains pretty much every afternoon. I built this cover. It's a little roof I made out of some chicken coop scraps, and it works really well. So I've got this cover. It covers the plunge itself. What is that right there? That's a handle, so it's easier for me to grab. Thanks, buddy. So that goes on top whenever we're done with it for the day. So yep, that covers the plunge itself, does not cover the chiller. The chiller has been great. So now let me show you some of the other upgrades I've done to the chiller. So I like to watch a 5-minute YouTube video on whatever it is I'm interested in. So I put a little phone suction cup magnet right there. One thing on my first video that I upgraded was I did the 1/2-inch tubing. I upgraded to the 3/4-inch tubing since moving it outside. Reason is it moves a lot more water, as you can see. It's a lot more water that's being moved, so it keeps the water cold even with the roof off, and it's about 95 degrees today. So the water, we've had the cover off of it pretty much all day, and it's up to 60 degrees right now. So I leave the roof off so that my wife and kids can jump in. Ava, you about to jump in there? Get in there, girl. They like to jump in every once in a while, so I'll leave the roof off for them so it kind of warms up. They don't like to get in there when it's 49 degrees like I do. So one with the bigger tubing, and that's pretty much the only major... Yeah, buddy. That's pretty much the only major updates that I've made. I went with a bigger tube. I went with a bigger filter that comes off of the pump, and it seems to be working pretty good, catching a few things. Now let me show you step by step exactly how to put this together. So you'll notice on the top of the chiller, there's one tip that says in, one tip that says out. See it right there? So that's pretty much the only thing you'll have to really figure out is where do you want the water to go in and where do you want the water to come out. So the water coming out comes from the chiller, and that's that really cold, beautiful water. The water going in comes from the pump. Now I know there's a lot of different options. There's a lot of different options that you can use. People have been saying, hey, why didn't you just drill holes and do all this other stuff? Because this works, it works fine. So I got a nice pump, and it's catching a lot of the grass and stuff that makes its way in there, which is great. This pump sucks the water up. I use a clamp, put the hose on there, sucks the water up through this filter, and then I just use a little extra tubing, comes through here, goes into the chiller using a clamp. It does all its stuff in there, all sorts of cold. Then it comes out, use a clamp, use a hose, and it goes right back into the plunge itself. So recap, pump, pulls the water up through a filter. Filter connects to the chiller. Everything in the chiller does its thing, and that moves the cold water right back out. So it's a big circle of cold water life, and that's pretty much that. One more thing a lot of people seem to want the link to and ask about is this UV oxygen filter that I've added. This has surprisingly kept the water super clear. So I've had this water outside for over a month. And I know this video doesn't do a good job because it is a black bottom tub, but the water is extremely clear. That pump does a great job. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the link to that in the description of this video. I'm gonna put the link to everything here in the description of this video because a lot of people keep asking me those questions. So I'm just gonna make it simple. And that is that. So updates, recap, I moved my plunge outside. I built a deck. I upgraded to a rubber 110 gallon plunge. Super comfortable, love it, use it every single day. Every day that I am home, I use this plunge. Every morning, usually I go to CrossFit at 6 a.m., then I jump in this plunge as soon as I get home. So before 7:30, I've already had a great workout, I've already grounded, I've already got some morning sun, and I've already been cold. So that has been working for me. I'm absolutely loving the cold plunge. This will be a part of my life for the rest of my life as long as I have a say-so in it. So the upgrades are, I went to a 3/4 inch tube, chiller's been kicking butt outside, I love that. Family's been loving it, and I've been loving it. So hope you guys like this video. If you have any additional questions, if you'd like me to do any other video on anything cold plunge related, DIY, iceless, just put them in the comments below. Check out the description, that'll have all the links to everything here. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.